أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are going to talk about the ethics of warfare. Are there ethical instructions, rulings, principles during the war or not? And of course, the best quote we may have is regarding the time of Imam Ali alayhi salam, about the early days of Islam, from Imam Ali alayhi salam, and the three wars were waged against him during the approximately 5 years of his Khilafah. First of all, let's see that these principles and advices of Imam Ali alayhi salam regarding the ethics of warfare are documented in Nahj al-Balagha and many other sources. By the way, one PhD dissertation has been completed about this subject, the analysis of the sermons and advices of Imam Ali alayhi salam during the different wars and different occasions when the Muslim nation was facing the war, the rift and the dispute between various groups of Muslims. Let's summarize that. First of all, Imam Ali alayhi salam clearly says that when you gain victory over the enemy, do not kill those who are running away. Don't strike the helpless people, the elderly at all. When you see people or members of the enemy's army, they are wounded, don't finish them off. So this is inhumane. If you can offer some assistance, all right. Otherwise, don't do anything to finish their life. Then don't inflict harm on women and children. And here, let us remember one incident, of course, when the troops of Muawiyah in Damascus, in Sham, attacked the western part of Iraq, where Imam Ali alayhi salam had his headquarters in Kufa. The reports came to Imam Ali alayhi salam that these people attacked the innocent population in Anbar. They killed many innocent people. They looted the jewelries and all valuables of ladies. Not only that, they caused maximum harm to the ladies. Imam alayhi salam delivered one sermon, which is the very eloquent in describing what happened. He said that I heard that these soldiers, these troops of Muawiyah, were attacking the ladies, taking all their jewels from them. And whenever they begged them not to do so, they would kill them or hit them and cause the injury to them. This was not only to Muslim women, even the Christian women who were under the protection of Islamic State. So later on, he said that if people die as a result of hearing such incident, such injustice, such attack, I wouldn't blame them. Then he delivered one very eloquent speech addressing his people, encouraging them to go and fight. To go and fight, because if you stay at home and you say the enemy attacking you in your land, then the defeat is there. So you have to stand up. You have to fight. You have to make sure that everything is safe in your area. But the Imam addresses these people who were not cooperating with him. He said that when I order you or encourage you to go and fight the enemy during the winter time, you say, "Oh, Commander Faithful, it is cold and we can't, do that. Why don't you wait until the weather becomes a bit warmer?" Whenever I commanded you to go and fight and defend your land, defend your dignity, defend your sovereignty during the summertime, you would say, "Oh, it is too hot and we can't deal with it. It is unbearable hardship to us to do that." So the Imam says that, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I know that you are not fearful of cold or hot weather. You are fearful from the sword of the enemy. If they attack you, you will be injured or you lose your lives. So the Imam alayhi salam analyzes in a very, very nice way the mentality of people who were not doing what was necessary, not obeying the command of their Emir, their Imam, their Caliph. They were reluctant to take part in any sort of fighting or even a headache about that. Now, let's go back to the ethics of warfare. Yeah, we see that ladies must be exception. Children, elderly, and those who were non-combatant. Yes, those who did not take part physically in the war, they are protected. And these are the teachings and the principles in Islam that Imam alayhi salam were trying to explain to everybody, and they are documented. In addition to that, we see that Muslims are not allowed to poison the water or any source of life for those who are fighting with them. Indeed, there is a hadith from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he prohibited the poisoning of the land of those who are polytheists. This is about Islam. When we move to the international covenants, treaties, we see again in these treaties and in these conventions, in these policies, it has been unanimously agreed that ladies are exempt from attack. Children, no fire to be set on people, no bombing which leads to mass destruction. And these are really, unfortunately, things that all ignored. Yes, we see in the war which is going on in the Middle East, we see that all these principles, all these treaties, all these religious rulings are ignored. And it is such inhumane, like wild animals attacking one another and want to finish everything with no mercy, no justice, no fairness at all. Let's go back to the time of Imam Ali alayhi salam. We know that Imam Ali alayhi salam, during his time for authority as Caliph, as an Imam, as the head of the state in Islamic world, that was appointed. No, he was agreed by all, and all paid allegiance to him and agreed. Okay? So this was the case. He faced 3 wars. The first one was based on deception, treason, and breach of faith by 2 companions called Talha and Zubayr. They came to Imam Ali alayhi salam and said, "Oh, Abu Hassan, we want to go to Umrah, to perform Umrah." And the Imam said, "I know that it is not Umrah, it is Ghadra. It is not going for Umrah, it is only treason and breach of faith." So what did they do? And the Imam explains that again in Nahl al-Balagha in one very beautiful speech. He says that they took the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with them, and pretended they are supporting or taking revenge about the death of Uthman ibn Affan. They were all based on deception and trickery, which led to tens of thousands of innocent people in Basra to lose their lives. This is the true story of Harb al-Jamal, the Battle of Camel. And the second one was in Siffin, as again Muawiyah waged the war against Imam Ali alayhi salam, and every inhumane act was done by the troops of Muawiyah, but Imam Ali alayhi salam again advising his troops, advising his people to stick to the principles of Sharia, to the ethics during the wartime, and again reminded them not to attack those who are the non-combatant, those who are elderly, the women and children. And we see in the end what happened. They raised the Quran in a sign that, look, we are all Muslims, we are brothers in faith. So why should we? And this was exactly the last minute that the army of Imam Ali alayhi salam was finishing the war. So again, this deception, this trick was offered and taken by the troops of Muawiyah in order to claim that we are all Muslims. Let's stop. Yeah? The Imam once again told them that this is a trickery, this is a deception, this is something in its outer aspect is something like faith, but its inner aspect is nothing but the enmity and the plan to kill every innocent person. So even though they asked for arbitration, which this led to the Imam alayhi salam refusing, but when it was imposed upon them, this led to the war with the Kharijites. And again, the slogan of the Kharijites was La hukma illa lillah. No sovereignty but by Allah Almighty. And again, the Imam wanted to explain to his followers, to his army, look, it is true, kalimatu haqqin yuradu biha batil. It is true phrase, true word, true statement, but the intention is false. And by that, he said that, look, when we refer to or we saw the arbitration, it wasn't my choice. It wasn't my choice. It was imposed upon me. Now, even though it is not in any defeat or anything against the teachings of the Quran, but this led again to some dreadful fight between the Kharijites and Imam Ali alayhi salam. So, let's conclude. When we see all the contemporary attacks in the Middle East, the dreadful way of attacking the hospitals, the innocent people, the ladies and children, they are deprived from every essential and basic need for life. And still, they say, we know justice, we know the law, and we know what to do. And that is really something we all condemn and we don't accept, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His victory and safety and protection to all Muslims who suffer from this injustice. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.